What's up, gamers? It's your boy Noir Uwu, and today I'm here to explain why Final Fantasy XVI will be Game of the Year and the best action game ever made. Right off the bat, let's look at the title of the game, Final Fantasy XVI. The 16 at the end of Final Fantasy means there have been at least 15 other games in the series. We all know that sequels are always at least 2 times better than its predecessor. The Last of Us 2, Devil May Cry 2, Kingdom Hearts 2, everyone agrees that these games are double better than the originals. So therefore, it's easy to make the assumption that Final Fantasy XVI will be at least 16 times better than the first Final Fantasy, which is already considered to be a great game. But now let's look at the graphics. Final Fantasy XVI has the best graphics I've ever seen in a video game. Look at how good the grass looks. Compared to real life, you could make the argument that the grass in Final Fantasy XVI looks better. The environments, the effects, the character models, everything in the game looks top notch, but also detailed and polished in a way that only a big budget AAA game can look. Definitely the first true next gen looking game to come out. Another reason why Final Fantasy XVI is gonna be the best game ever made is because of the gameplay. Turn-based combat was cool in the 90s, but I'm very happy we are in a place now where everyone pretty much agrees that turn-based games are boring as shit. Yeah, let me click a button and watch my guy do the cool thing instead of doing the cool thing myself. The only reason a game like Persona 5 is even popular is because the other 50% of the game is just a dating sim, and there's a big group of people that really want to fulfill their wish of being a cool high schooler and going out with 15-year-old girls. Pokemon is only around because Nintendo fans are the bottom feeders of gaming. They have zero standards and will give every game that has the Nintendo seal of quality a 10. What I'm getting at is turn-based combat is ass, and it's ironic that the best game in the turn-based JRPG franchise is going to be an action game. From what we've seen already, the combat looks incredible. There's clearly a lot of depth within the game's base mechanics with all the different things you can do, on top of an insane amount of customization and variety with the amount of different skills and switching between icons. It looks super responsive, every animation looks insane, and it's clearly doing everything you want as a character action game, but also expanding on the genre by incorporating the RPG elements that the franchise is known for, including a good story and world building, which is often an afterthought when it comes to these types of action games. I've made my case for why Final Fantasy XVI is going to sweep the Game Awards, but now let's look at its competition, which is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and SpiderMan 2. Some people might bring up RE4 Remake or Starfield, but RE4 Remake is soulless and Starfield probably won't even work on PC for the first 6 months. Funnily enough, SpiderMan and Zelda actually have something in common, and it's the fact that they're both $70 DLC. Don't even get me started on Zelda, at least SpiderMan runs at above 720p. I already mentioned earlier that Nintendo fans have zero standards, but there's no clearer example of this than The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, just a lazy, uninteresting asset flip. Do 100 shrines, find 1,000 Koroks, put up 80 signs, go on 100 caves. You do the same boring shit over and over again like every other open world game, but because there's no checklists on the map like in a Ubisoft game, it's creative and innovative. Side quests are boring, and the reward for 90% of them are completely useless. Main quests have slightly more depth, but are beaten by doing 4th grade level puzzles. Add on top an average 24 frames a second, and you have a 10 out of 10 according to IGN and everyone else. Moving on to SpiderMan, we've got another asset flip job. The whole map is the same, but they added queens, cool. The water looks like ass, but the biggest problem with SpiderMan 2 is that it exists in a world where Batman Arkham Knight came out in 2015. Not a single game trying to do a free-flow action combat system has even come close to Arkham Knight. Even looking at it on a base level, the animations, the fluidity, the overall feeling, it's all on another level compared to SpiderMan. But on top of that, for people who like to dig deeper, there's a great amount of depth and polish within Batman's moveset. SpiderMan is just way more slow, more stiff, more clunky, and has less depth. Their solution to this problem is apparently to just add cooldowns. Instead of having more variety within your base moveset to add more ways to interact with enemies, let's add the quick time event grab dog and cooldown attacks you can spam to make you feel cool. Clearly a 7 out of 10 game that's gonna get 9s and 10s because it's the only new big Sony game coming out this year. Gaming really is dead, but at least Final Fantasy XVI will be a great game. Thanks for watching.